o'clock with the meeting to order, and we will hold on approving the minutes and financials. So why don't we go ahead and have Greg Parrish talk to us about your report.
Okay, I've got a short report as well. All samples have been done this month. We did our last set of stage 2 disinfectants for the year, so we won't start those again until February of 2022. Also, I talked with Todd Schaefer from Dixon. I had mentioned it last month about the recommendation of water tank. We're going to work off of our list and do the IDEM recommendations first, and we can do those repairs during just normal maintenance to help keep the cost down. So we won't be looking at doing any of those repairs probably for a couple of years yet. We'll be due for a washout probably in about 2 more years. So at that point in time, then I'll bring it to you guys and we'll decide on how much we want to do and what we want to do. So we'll just kind of hold on that. 1402 Lakeshore Drive, we installed a new 1-inch water tap. We teamed up with Tom and Brent and got that taken care of a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it was just shortly after we had our last meeting, we got that done. We are still working on the backflow ordinance to be implemented for 2022. Also, we've been working on shutoffs for the season. I think we're about done with those for the year. We'll be reading water meters tomorrow, so hopefully those all go good. Also, while we were doing our maintenance run on our portable generator, we noticed some white smoke coming from the motor. Something's getting hot in it. We're not sure exactly what it is, so I have a call into Cummings Services, and they're like everybody else. They're busy, shorthanded. We're looking at probably somebody to come out and look at that next week. If there's any repairs that need to be done, I think we should have all that in our budget for the cost of that. I'm not sure what it's going to cost, but if I think it's something that I need to bring before you guys, I will. If not, then we'll just go ahead and get it repaired. That's all I have for my report. If anybody has any questions.
So this flush a couple of years from now, what kind of expense are we talking about?
I believe just for normal flush, what that is, we drain the tank. They come in, they basically just wash out the inside of the tank. I think when I got a quote from, I can't even think of the fellas that did the tank work before. It's like $3,000 or $4,000, something like that, to have that work done. It's not anything real expensive. IDEM has some requests that they want to have done, and it's basically just safety stuff. There needs to be some eyelets welded up inside the tank so that whenever somebody is in there doing any kind of work or maintenance work, that they have something to tie themselves off on. Ours have all pretty much rotted off over the years, and that's what caused some of the holes that were in the tank that we already had repaired during our emergency repair that we had done. So some of the other things, just to shed some light on that, they recommended some trees be taken down, which I've kind of been working on that a little bit, and we took some trees down a couple years ago. It's just mainly safety stuff. Overall, from what I'm reading in this report, our tank is in pretty good shape for its age. So we just need to do some maintenance work to it, and we should be good to go with that.
Okay. I just didn't know if we needed to put a number in Laurel's 2024 budget or not.
Yeah, it's like me and Todd talked about right now, for him to even give me quotes 2 years from now, they're going to change, so it's kind of hard to, we might could do a ballpark, or something like that. Like I think it was to put the eyelets and stuff on the inside. I think he estimated like $11,000. That was an estimated cost. But he said, who knows what it's going to be 2 years from now, you know? So as we get closer to doing that, then we'll nail it down to what it's going to actually cost.
Sounds good. I was being a little bit sarcastic, but.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Greg Parrish?
Rick, I just want to let you know Rick Remage has just joined.
Yep, I see him. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, thank you, Greg, for your report.
Okay.
Welcome, Rick Remages. And what I'd like to now do is go back to the agenda items that need approval and required Rick Remages to be present, so we could vote on those two items. So the first one being approval of the October 2021 meeting minutes. I make a motion that we approve those. And Laurel is on mute, but she has raised her hand as far as a second.
I second.
Okay. And so, all in favor? Okay. Okay, so Rick Remages is aye, Rick Blank is aye, and Laurel is aye as well. Okay. Next is the approval of the October 2021 financials. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
seconded by Rick Remages.
Approve the financials.
Discussion on the financials.
No?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Laurel?
Aye.
Okay, all three voting are unanimous. 2 Ricks and a Laurel. Okay. That takes us down to old business, and the first item being the 2022 Water Department budget. Laurel.
Well, Helen still has not gotten the, with the new general ledgers in yet. You know, we did do a budget based on the old numbers. The bottom line's not going to change, but we've moved around some general ledgers, and I guess she's busy, so she hasn't gotten to it yet, and hopefully by the first of the year it'll be done. So that's all I have at this point.
Okay, any questions regarding the budget for 2022? All right, hearing none, we'll move to the next item. Update regarding open position for Water Advisory Committee. As we know, Bob Gallagher has left us, and we were discussing at our last meeting that we would like to find another candidate. And truly, from our view of this, it is up to the town council to actually find that candidate. So I think President Bob LeMay needs to help guide us with that one.
Yeah, if you guys could give me some recommendations. Actually, what my notes on the list of committee members say, it's Water Board consists of 1 person from the town council, and all the rest are appointed by the president, I guess, which would be me. So
Right.
if you guys can give me some recommendations, that would be great.
Okay, what I would suggest is maybe that the 3 of us that are here this morning, that maybe we would email any recommendations that we have to Bob LeMay.
Yeah, and I'll put something on the website too, seeing if any volunteers, if anybody wants to volunteer. But but so far, we've got a couple open committee positions, and so far that hasn't been very successful. But we'll keep trying that.
Okay, that sounds good, Bob. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Bob, it's a little maybe silly, but does a committee member have to be a registered voter in Long Beach or just own property in Long Beach?
I think a resident is.
Right, they need to be a full-time resident, from my understanding. And we can check that out.
Yeah. We're running out of full-time residents.
That's right.
Okay. Moving on to the next item would be small claims per customer. And that was Mary Lou. Excuse me. Mary Lou passed along to me that she has not heard anything further from the town attorney on that matter. So she will continue to try to follow up on that. The next item under old business, non-payment.
Rick,
Let's come back.
I don't have the email in front of me, but I thought she also had mentioned about someone that has not paid their bill and whether we should make a recommendation to go after them.
Yeah, I think this non-payment vacant lot water tap charges. I'm looking at her email right now.
Yeah.
And so I was going to read her comments under that item.
Okay.
So let me do that now. So with regard to our agenda item, non-payment vacant lot with tap charges.
Oh, I didn't.
Customer contacted Mary Lou. So I'm going to read her written email notes on this. I contacted him early after the last meeting, and he promised to send a check and also wanted the ACH form. We have not received anything from him. So on Friday, I texted him and told him that we would be back meeting on Monday and could vote to send his bill to collections. I did not hear back from him. So I guess the question is, are we going to vote to send his bill to collection?
First of all, Rick, I want to apologize. I didn't realize that was the second item on the agenda. Next, so I apologize for interrupting.
No problem.
I would make a recommendation that we turn that over for collection.
Okay, so you're going to make a motion?
Yep, I make a motion that we turn this over for collection. He's been told of the situation.
I would second the motion. I am seconding the motion.
Okay.
So regarding discussion, it sounds like we have done everything possible on our end to inform him of the situation and how it is to be rectified, and it seems like he just doesn't want to pay the bill. And so, that's why I seconded it, and I think we should proceed with collection. Any thoughts from Rick Remages?
No, I'm in favor of pursuing debts that are owed, period.
Okay, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye, Laurel.
Okay, so all three of us have voted in the affirmative to go ahead and send that to collection. And so I'm assuming that who will actually handle that process?
I would recommend Mary Lou. She has the contact with Chris Willoughby, and so when she gets back, I'm not sure
Okay.
why she's here today, so I don't know if she's out of town. I would let her handle that. I don't know. Lynn, what's your feeling on that?
I'd vote for Mary Lou.
Okay.
She's on the phone with him asking about the other case, but this one should definitely be smoother because the person hasn't left town. So
Yeah.
we can find him.
So Lynn, would you please send her an email and tell her of our affirmative vote on this topic, and that we would like her to follow through and handle it?
Sounds good. I'll do it.
Thank you. Okay, that ends the agenda items for old business. Are there any that I'm missing? Hearing none, we're moving to new business. The first item was the portable generator that Greg has already talked to us about. And the next item below that is Human Resources Committee discussion regarding Austin. And that's Mary Lou, and I will read her comments regarding that. Her comments are: we met the first Thursday of November and are in the process of reviewing the salary ordinance. We will meet again on December 2nd and will have our recommendation to the town council for the December 13 meeting. So that's her update on that item. The next item after that is October billing / payment adjustments. Lynn, take it away.
Alrighty. This month we had again 2 direct pay reversals, and one of them was unfortunately the same customer as the month prior, and it has to do with the person who is deceased recently, and she is now living in the home and had been in communication with her son, who's the executor of the estate, and had misunderstood from 2 months ago. She misunderstood that she was not able to keep that account active. She thought that they were just going to finalize things at the bank and it was going to be up and running for the last month. So she missed a second month. I don't know whether under those circumstances I should charge her a late fee or not, but I did. I mean, it's in the system. And then the second person, they actually, I really don't think we should charge for their late fee because the reverse payment fee, because they got contacted by their bank, who told them that they were concerned about potential fraudulent activity on their account, and they froze the account and told them that all of their automatic pays would go through. And I explained to her that that probably would not include a direct pay through ACH, and in fact it did not. So, the bill came and went, and it was reversed and not paid. So the question is, when I was talking about having people that are on direct pay get a NSF charge of $15 to be in uniformity with all the people who pay by check that have to pay us, both the bank fee and the our fee. What do you think about those two situations, about whether I should charge them the bank? Well, it's not a bank charge. It would be our charge, because the bank doesn't charge us per individual direct pay that's not paid on time. Whether we should tack on our $15 fee for an insufficient fund situation for those two cases. One, because the person already did it the month prior and thought the situation was corrected, and the other one, the bank actually hadn't followed through on what she considered to be the, matter of course. So that's just a question. I don't know if we can delay answering that right now, but anyway, those were the two payment adjustments. And then the third payment adjustment for new customer, I had to work with Civic about this because, and they talked me through it in terms of how to do the adjustment. They had me do one billing adjustment and one payment adjustment, because when we did the TAP fee, it didn't process the way I anticipated it to, and she definitely paid it. It was paid on time. It should have showed up in her billing history, and it did not. And they worked it through with me so that her account is now accurate. But in order to do that, to have it show up as a billed event, and then her paying that billed event, we had to do some adjustments because it was out of the billing cycle. So that's why we have the $1,500 minus and then the $1,500 plus on the billing and the payment adjustments, just to get her account to read correctly. It's all because it was outside of the period, so we had to do it as adjustments. So those are all the payment adjustments and the billing adjustments. The other ones were just, I reversed the late fees that were approved last month, and 2 of them. And then I did charge the one customer the fee for the NSF that I'm now questioning whether or not we should. So those are them. What do you think about those NSF fees on the bank charges? I mean, the reverse payments for the direct pay.
I guess I'd like to make a general comment first, and that comment being that you are in a unique position to see these and consider these as they occur. And what I would say is, as you bring these to us, I would like you to bring the facts as you have, but then also make your recommendation as to what you think we should do. Whether that's right or wrong, that's just a recommendation. And coming from a unique position that you're in, that you can at least comment on your opinion on it and make the recommendation, because you're dealing with it all the time. And I think it's important that we do have a consistency. Some of these are not easy. They're one-time occurrences that, we have to make decisions on, but still, I think you're in the best position to at least make a recommendation to us, based on those facts. So I guess, that's how I would approach these, just as far as trying to be consistent to all customers. So, okay, then, all right, so let's go ahead with the NSF considerations. Does anybody have some thoughts on that, Laurel?
Well, as far as with the ACH, yes, the bank does not physically charge us anything for that. However, we're still doing the work in the office of, putting the monies back onto the customer's account, contacting them. So I feel that there should be an NSF charge. However, in the case where there's a frozen account because of a death or fraudulent or whatever, I would maybe consider not charging that. But if it's truly just, an NSF and that's why it didn't get paid, I think that they should pay for that fee.
In fact, waiving a fee when the customer doesn't have a history of deficiencies is pretty common. I'm one of them. Not with the water department, but Yeah, I think there's a duty of fairness. If it's just a flat out lack of funds in the account, the fee sticks. If in fact there's a backstory, and Lynn, that's I think what you're trying to describe here. If there's not a history of prior violations and this is a one-time thing due to fraud or the bank shutting the account down, we certainly don't want to collect 2 times.
Well, I appreciate
I
this.
would be in favor of waiving it in that case. Go ahead, Lynn. Sorry.
Well, I think that's where I'm coming from too, is that I'm glad that we talked about it, I think it was 2 months ago, to have the charge go in, as Laurel was saying, for our time. But then immediately, of course, right after that, then I got these questions going, well, should we charge these people though? And specifically, I care about seeming callous. I mean, when there's a deceased member of our community and the family is dealing with that and they're, I mean, goodness sakes, right? So I would definitely like to not charge the family that had that occur on the second month. And then the other customer, yeah, getting a call from your bank saying we've frozen all your accounts and sorry, but we think someone's hacking your account. I think that they shouldn't have an additional charge from us for that. So I appreciate, I can tell you that those situations have occurred going forward, and that my recommendation would be for any deceased member of the community where the family hasn't dealt first and foremost with us, and when the bank has initiated the frozen account, that those would be 2 very good examples of when I would prefer not to charge for my time on that. Otherwise, yes, anytime it's straight out, and I'm thinking back to the time when the family called me and said, our daughter bounced every check in our account, including yours. So yes, that was one where they fully anticipated, and I agreed that those charges should go through for when it's just straight out insufficient funds.
Okay, so do we want to take these, do we want to start voting on these?
Okay, I have a question for Lynn. I'm not going to mention any names, but the first item on here, reverse late charge for $12.50. What was the reason for that?
Didn't receive the bill.
Okay. This particular resident and myself have a little history. I don't.
No, I know that you do, Laurel, and
Okay.
I talked with him very specifically. It's because of the mail coming down to Florida during the winter.
Okay.
And
Okay. We'll give
he's
that. Okay.
been very cooperative. I think he has his tail between his legs just a tad in light of the history between you and him. So,
Right. I was just going to say, you can mention my name anytime with him, and you'll get what you want.
no, I actually am on good terms with him because
Yeah,
I've
good.
been making sure there's no resentments ongoingly, so it's all good. But no, and they were both approved last month anyway, so they've already been, this is just the indication to the committee that I did go ahead and reverse what had been approved last month.
Okay. So you want to go down the list, Rick?
Yeah, so
To reverse, to not have to charge these 2 customers for their NSF fees on the direct pay, these specific.
okay, so I will make that motion that we not charge them under those 2 cases.
Okay, and I'll second it. Laurel.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Laurel.
Unanimous, Laurel and both Ricks. Anything else, Lynn?
No, we can, the next one though will be, actually, let me just include these. These are the requests to reverse late fees. The first one is to me, 100% anytime a customer calls and says, I sent my payment. You didn't get it? This is the second time it's happened since I've been here. So I immediately go, oh, great. Did I put it in the recycling bin, or did it really not get here? Or did the person think they sent it, but they didn't? I mean, I will not know what those situations are. I just know that I want to always present it to the committee saying, someone said they sent their check in. I never saw it. And of course, I don't think we should ever charge a late fee when a person does that, unless they do it every month or have a real pattern of it. So this was a person that there's no way that they would have just used that as an excuse. I'm quite sure that they have every sense that they sent the payment in. I certainly did not see it. And then the second one is to reverse a late fee that the family had actually sent the direct payment enrollment form to me with, a request to sign them up, but it arrived like on November 2nd or something. So I let them know that it didn't get there in time to pay their prior month's bill. And they said, okay, well, we definitely want to be on direct pay going forward. So I would like to do what we've been doing with other customers, which is to relieve them of that final late fee now that they're going on direct pay. Those are my two requests for reversing late fees.
I agree with those recommendations, and I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, all three? Okay. Anything else under new business? Hearing none, next agenda item is anything from the floor. So is there anybody that...
Yeah, this is as far as I'm just going to pick on Lynn just for and I don't want a refund. Last year I sent the payment almost 10-15 days before the due date, and check somehow did not make it due to the late mailing up to December 1st. And Lynn knew that I never made payments ever late. And she was very apologetic. And also I told her, look, I don't want to refund the late payment. I just wanted to make sure for the record, I always pay on time. But she said, yes, you always pay on time, but so that's what happened last year with me. Personally, so now I send the payment 20 days before, so that way there's no mailing problem anymore. Is that not correct, Lynn?
That is all correct, yes. And, I have to say at that point in time when we had that discussion, that was early on, and I did not have a pattern established in me with how it is when people make their payments timely but don't get to us. Now the United States Postal Service is so clearly involved in all these late, payments. The ones when people say, come on, I mailed it like 10 days ago. Why in the world did it not get to you on time? I totally get that now, whereas when we were dealing with the situation on your account so far, I did not have that in my head at all, that it was the United States Postal Service. So if you were to do it today, you would certainly have your fee reversed. Would you like to have your fee reversed now?
No, I don't want to.
I had a feeling you would say that, but I'd be happy to do it for you if you wanted me to.
No. It's not really. I was just trying to pick on you that, look, this is happening. And last year,
it's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
There's no, and I was actually thinking about putting on the water bill, because I keep saying to people when they get their payment to me, like it comes the first week of November and they tell me they mailed it 2 weeks ago, I just keep saying, any of you that are using the mail, please do mail it 20 days ahead, because otherwise, if people really did just mail it the last week of the month, I'd have 15 of these situations, at least 20, of people saying, well, I mailed it a week before and it wouldn't get there on time. So I've been begging people to do what you're doing so far, which is to mail it ridiculously early. And then I think I got your check like the last week of this last month. I got it, I thought, geez, it's taken forever. So
The other question I have, is there anyone in our community who's not able to pay the water bill due to the person cannot afford?
The one person where that was the situation has since had their family members take over the account. There was one person I was really quite sure there was really a lack of income on a pretty regular basis, and that situation got resolved through family intervention. But I worked with that particular person for a number of months to assist in any way we could to get the payments in where we didn't have to keep charging big late fees. And then the other person is someone who regularly says that, you know, she has difficulty, but the fact is she always makes her payment, usually just like a few days late, and continues to get late charges that she's unhappy about, but she has the money from what I can tell to pay her bill. So
Okay.
nobody, yeah.
I think my only reason I asked that during the holidays, at least we should make some kind
Sure.
of consideration for those people who cannot afford to pay.
Yeah, no, there was really only one person who I was convinced really couldn't afford it, and that situation would get resolved.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Happy.
And Lynn, when we have these situations, you take every opportunity to try and encourage these people to go on ACH, correct?
Well, the tricky part is if they really have insufficient funds,
Right. Yeah,
it's only going to add misery to their situation to have
I see.
that charge added on top of their late charge. So I have not been encouraging people, like the one customer I'm saying who I really was convinced there was an insufficient fund situation and was living in a family home. They finally just realized I had to take his name off the account. I've been talking to the family members about that, and they are now on direct pay.
Yeah.
But really, there's only one other customer who very regularly pays late, and I think it's you know, prioritizing how she pays her bills.
Okay.
I would agree with the comment on those that are unable to pay, but I think what I'm thinking about is all of those circumstances that are related to U.S. mail issues. Like, you know, I'm hearing certainly that, you know, there's probably more than one that are mailing their check 20 days ahead. Well, I mean, that's a perfect situation to get on ACH. You know, those people that actually do have funds and the ability to pay their bills, totally take it out of the hands of the U.S. Postal Service, and ACH payments will do that. So
Only, not to interrupt you, the only concern I have is, you know, somebody can access, if there is somebody, somehow the cyber attack happen on a town, they will have access to my personal account. And that's the really, and once they attack on my personal accounts, I can lose a lot of money. So I cannot afford to have that. That's why I pay through the bank. I don't really write a check. I pay through the bank, and it goes to the bank, and it's printed date on it when they send it. And I actually provided that case. The date was printed 10 days before, but the mail never, it somehow didn't make it. So our only concern will be the cyber security.
You know, Dr. Rizvi, with all due respect, I'm a former community banker, and the one time that my account was accessed had nothing to do with ACH. I suggest to you that it is more secure than having a written check with your routing number, your name, your address, your account number on it. But we'll leave that debate for another time. But I can tell you that the one time my account was accessed, Horizon Bank shut it down immediately, reimbursed the funds that had been withdrawn. It was like $277. But it was going to continue if they didn't shut it down. It's a very secure way to maintain your accounts as opposed to putting written documents.
By the way, I don't send my personal check. It comes from the bank. Bank send you directly, not me. But anyway, I understand that. I think I don't feel really comfortable connecting my ACH account with the Long Beach Water Department because I'm not sure that how much is a cybersecurity is there. That's the main concern I have.
Very good.
But that's why I pay 20 days ahead now. So
Okay, that's very good. Well, thank you for those prompt payments. I mean, that's very good. Any other comments from the floor? Hearing none. Approval of budgeted claims. Laura?
Yes, I was in and reviewed 22 claims in the amount of $130,780.89. I found to have one error in there. There was a duplicate payment that the company was called and resolved the situation. They sent back the check. So we're all good. I make a motion to approve.
I second the motion. Any further discussion on the claims? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Okay, all three of us, 2 Ricks and Laurel, approve to pay the claims. Next meeting, December 27th, 9 a.m. via Zoom. Any other business to come before the advisory committee? Except for have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too, everyone.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Have a great holiday, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.